Hey, Bulldogs. It's May 7th, and we are really excited to be a part of the virtual fundraiser, Reading for Life. And the goal here is to raise $50,000 to help the EPSB Foundation fund full day Ks to vulnerable communities. And a full day K program is amazing. I've worked in several schools that's had it, and it really helps get kids on the right track. To donate is really simple. Just go to foundation.epsb.ca/give/donate online. And then you can select the amount you want and how you wish to donate. And it gets the funds going to the right people in the right hands. So today's story is one that's quite dear to me. It was first recommended to me by an amazing Canadian, David Bouchard, who's an author and winner of the Order of Canada, and former teacher and principal as well. Just an amazing gentleman. The book itself is called Reading with Dad by Richard Jorgensen, and it's illustrated by Warren Hansen. It's important to me simply because it reminds me of the times where I sat with my children and read, and the power of reading to children. Yes, there's not always time in the day. I know how busy life can get, but to take that 15 minutes and sit down and read a book with your children, be it a picture book, a comic book, a full-fledged novel, and not only bond with your children, but get them to love printed text. And I remember my parents read to me too. And so yeah, I would like to share Reading with Dad. Reading with Dad by Richard Jorgensen. Illustrated by Warren Hansen. Published in 2000 by Waldman House Press. For Barrett and Anna, still reading with Dad. RLJ. For Cody and Lacey, the best of the best. WDH. We're there in the photo that hangs on the wall, the first childhood memory I can recall. The three of us snug in the overstuffed chair. Well, two. It just seems like the third one was there. The cat in the hat, my father and I. It's just before bed, and I'm warm and I'm dry. My father is laughing. I'm turning to look, and I'm watching him laugh as he's reading the book. We're having such fun, and he's holding me tight. There's always a book before saying goodnight. That photograph shows the best times I've had. All of those times I spent reading with Dad. When I was 8, I could read by myself, but sometimes the books would be left on the shelf, as dolls, pets, and teddy bears filled up that space, where storybook walls made a daydreaming place. Still, my favorite time at the end of each day was to sit by the fire, all my toys put away. Well, most of them. Then I would open a book, knowing that Daddy would listen and look. And there at the foot of the overstuffed chair, I would read to my dolly and hamster and bear. They all loved the stories, but what made me feel glad was that all of us really were reading with Dad. Then came a magical summertime night. I was trying to sleep, but the moon was too bright. When I heard my dad's footsteps from out in the hall, he couldn't sleep either, so I whispered a call. Hey, you awake? Here, I've got just the thing. Let's go out on the porch and sit on the swing. You grab the flashlight, I'll bring what we need to send you to dreamland Come on, let's go read. Then night after night, it was pirates and kings. Then wind in the willows, then wizards and rings. Tale after tale from the books that he had. But the greatest adventure was reading with Dad. As I grew, all those stories and words had me hooked. Most evenings the library table was booked. Though high school meant homework, athletics, and boys, the library's shelves held the greatest of joys. Dickens and Austen and Bronte and Twain were the friends I would visit again and again. Later, at college, each time I would call, he'd ask, "What are you reading?" I would want to know all. But what I was thinking of Shakespeare or Poe, of Homer, of Wordsworth, of Frost or Thoreau. The long-distance bill must have looked pretty bad. Across all those miles, I was reading with Dad. Now the leather is cracked in the overstuffed chair, and it now sits in my house, and its place is where I read to my children, they cuddle beside. And although it is bedtime, their eyes open wide, as the pictures and poems and stories unfold from inside the covers of books new and old. And sometimes their grandpa will listen a while, as he sits by the fire, and I'll catch a faint smile, or a gleam in his eye as he gives me a wink, a gleam that will cause me quietly to think of what he is thinking. The grand times we've had. After all of these years, I'm still reading with Dad. Now he is the one who's lying in bed. I fluff up the pillow beneath his gray head, and I know that although he is ready to rest, he wants me to read from the books we love best. So once again, we fall under the spell as we travel the story road we've known so well. This story is short though. He's weary, I see. So I quietly finish with Psalm 23. Then softly he says, as I turn out the light, "There's always a book before saying goodnight." The best times that I've ever had are all of those times I've spent reading with Dad. Well, I hope you enjoyed Reading with Dad by Richard Jorgensen and illustrated by Warren Hansen. Please remember to donate to the Edmonton Public Schools Foundation Reading for Life campaign and help support Full Day Kindergarten to allow others to enjoy the gift of reading.